Hoppers! I realized I had a bunch, so I figured I'd do a review on them. They're mostly pretty old. We're going to start with the gravity fed hopper over on the left here. This is pretty much every single person's starter hopper. You've seen this at every field as the rental hopper, the garbage thing that everybody uses. Let's push this all to the side here. It's a banana with a hopper button. That's about it. Here's a drop test. It doesn't work unless you shake it. Even when you shake it, it still doesn't work. Alright, now that that's over, we can get rid of this. So now let's get on to the real electric hoppers. This is a Revy, or JT Revolution, Viewloader Revolution. There's a Brass Eagle version. I think that's all. Z-Leader may have had one as well, which is, already turned, Z-Leader turned into Viewloader, which turned into JT. It's really confusing. This is not the lid to this hopper. You can see it's very difficult to get off. But all it is it's the same banana-shaped hopper as the, I want to say mechanical, that's not right, as the gravity-fed hopper, but it's just got this little impeller with an eye-board. You can see I'm setting off the eye-board with my finger here. I have a few of these. Some of them are half-shelled. You can do some cool customization with these. You can see this one is half black on the left and half mostly clear on the right. Same system with the eye-board and the exact same impeller, although you could upgrade and change them. It also says X-board on the side, which was the faster one. Now, the more interesting version of the Revy is the IntelliFeed. The IntelliFeed Revy was this little wire, which is not in focus here, basically at all, but each time you pulled the trigger, it would spin a certain amount of times. Oh, and yeah, there's a JT shell on the right side of this one, Viewloader on the left. Orange shell is pretty cool. It's got a different impeller, which is just so happened to be on the IntelliFeed, but each time you pulled the trigger, it would set off a certain number of spins. This could be programmed, but the Angel's broken. You can see it starts out pretty slow, but as it gets lower on paint, it gets pretty quick. When people have really tall feed necks, this would work really well. Next up is the Viewloader Evolution, usually called the Egg or the Eggolution because, look at it, it's an egg. Yeah, the lid's missing, and you may think that the tape is a little weird, but no, that's just how they looked. Even back in the day, these things were all taped up. The plastic they use is really bad, it's cracked. I'm surprised my feed neck is still in one piece, but it does work. These were great. They did have an adjustable rate of feeding, and they had the soft paddles for the paint, so you broke less. You can see this one feeds really poorly. I'm surprised at how slow it was going. I don't know what the force was set to because the force knob is broken, but you can see the soft impeller does pretty well at not crunching up balls in the hopper. The Halo is probably one of the more important hoppers to exist. It's just a belt-driven, well, two belt and chain, it's confusing, hopper, and it was really fast. And there were upgraded board. This one's got a rip drive, so you can manually spin it if you ever got a jam. Somebody customized this one. It's missing jewels, and it's got these pretty funny stickers on the side. And the feed neck was shaven down. That was to make it sit lower on the gun. Obviously, I don't have the gun that was put on, so I don't know if it worked. This is a modified shell made by Inception. It was to kind of replace all the cracked shells that happened to all the older Halos. It's really good. It's heavy, though. It's heavier than the original Halo, and you can see it's really small. Of course, this one doesn't work either because it's a Halo. If you've ever used a Halo, you know they don't last very long. It's a good shell, no magnetic lid. Not to be confused with that Halo is the Halo TSA, Tilt Sound Activation. I don't know about the tilt part, but it's definitely sound activated. You'll see when I do the drop test in a minute that sound hitting it, presumably shooting, will set it off. Of course, right after the review, I dropped it, and it shattered, so I gotta get a new shell before I could actually see that work. Same thing, very similar to the Revy. It's got this impeller on the inside, but as opposed to the Revy, it doesn't use eyes. You can see when I'm hitting it here, it sets off, usually. Oh, yeah, I did forget the velocity segment. They're really good. They're a little bit faster than the Halo, similar to a Drax's Pulse, but not 6 times heavier. The speed feed is really weird, but it's a pretty good, pretty fast hopper. Rotor. This is a pretty standard modern hopper. I don't have a Spire because I don't have $300 to blow on a piece of plastic, so instead I have a rotor. They're a little heavier, they don't jam too often, and they've got pretty good features. They have a claimed feed speed of up to 40 balls per second, which I don't know how true that is. In the drop test video I'm going to show you, that's a full hopper, so you can see it does go pretty quick, and you can make it go faster by adjusting the spring tension. The speed feed's great, it's got a spring ramp, it's also got this unjamming rod at the back. Not a, well, fin. I believe it's called the unjam fin. Takes 3 AA batteries. I love it. This is my daily use hopper. I put it on everything I can.